God has an urgent revelation for you today. Someone in your life has secretly tested you. And it's not just a random encounter. It's a divine examination of your spiritual growth. God is revealing to you that you've just passed through a spiritual test without even knowing it. This person was placed in your path to measure your character, your faith, and your reactions. This message comes with joy to show you how much you've grown spiritually. You've been through a hidden evaluation, and now it's time to understand what was being tested and why this divine examination happened. Right now, as you hear these words, know that God sees every secret test that comes your way. It's normal to feel surprised or even confused when you learn that someone was evaluating you. But remember that these tests show how much God believes in your spiritual progress. This revelation is your chance to understand the divine purpose behind recent, challenging interactions and see them as spiritual victories. You're receiving this message because your test results are ready to be revealed. Even when you didn't know you were being examined, your authentic responses showed your true spiritual level. Trust that this test was a blessing because passing it without knowing proves your genuine spiritual growth and prepares you for greater spiritual assignments ahead. As you think about recent interactions in your life, take time to examine moments that felt unusual or challenging. Just like a teacher gives surprise quizzes to see real understanding, God places secret tests in your path to measure your authentic spiritual growth. Look back at conversations where someone seemed to push your buttons or situations where someone watched your reactions carefully. Just like a spiritual metal detector reveals hidden treasures, this divine revelation helps you see the spiritual purpose behind confusing encounters. Hold on to the wisdom you showed during these moments, but release any frustration about being tested without knowing it. Just like a student celebrates after learning they passed a difficult exam, you should feel proud that your natural responses revealed spiritual maturity. These tests weren't meant to trick you, but to confirm your growth, showing both you and heaven that your spiritual development is real and authentic. Sometimes the most accurate measure of our character comes when we don't know we're being watched. And your genuine responses during this secret test have revealed beautiful spiritual progress. This secret test about your spiritual growth is more than just a random encounter. It's a divine assignment given to someone in your circle. It's a time for you to understand that God works through ordinary people to measure your extraordinary spiritual development. Face this revelation with gratitude, knowing that the person who tested you was chosen as a divine instrument for your growth. There's a loving plan at work in your life, and sometimes that plan includes using familiar faces to reveal your spiritual progress. The person who tested you might have been a family member, questioning your decisions, a friend challenging your beliefs, or even a stranger observing your kindness. They might not even realize they were being used by God to evaluate your spiritual maturity. See these divine examiners as spiritual teachers sent to help you recognize how far you've come. Every interaction becomes meaningful when you understand that God orchestrates encounters to measure your growth. When life feels like you're being watched or judged, reach out in prayer for understanding. God is always here to reveal the spiritual purpose behind human interactions. In your prayers, you'll find the wisdom to see divine testing as confirmation of your spiritual advancement. As we've discussed recognizing these divine tests in your life, I'd like to help you identify more spiritual revelations as they happen. If these messages about secret divine examinations resonate with your spirit, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to receive more revelations about the hidden spiritual activities happening around you. Pay attention to different ways God has been testing your spiritual progress through other people. These aren't just difficult interactions. They are specific divine examinations designed to measure different aspects of your character. You might have experienced the loyalty test, where someone questioned your commitments or tried to turn you against people you care about. You might have faced the patience test, where someone deliberately moved slowly or changed plans to see how you handled delays. And frustration. Perhaps you encountered the integrity test, where someone offered you something that seemed too good to be true, or asked you to bend your values. You could have experienced the compassion test, where someone appeared weak or needy to see if you would help without expecting anything back. Maybe you faced the forgiveness test, where someone hurt your feelings or disrespected you to measure whether you would hold grudges or choose forgiveness. You might have received the wisdom test, where someone asked for your advice or guidance to see the spiritual depth of your responses. Some of you experienced the abundance test, where someone watched how you handle money, success, or material blessings. These aren't accidents. They're sacred examinations helping God measure your spiritual readiness for greater assignments. Trust your spiritual memory about which test feels most familiar to your recent experiences. Remember, you didn't face this secret test alone. God was with you, surrounding you with spiritual support and angelic guidance during every moment of examination. Around you stood a team of heavenly observers, spiritual coaches, and divine helpers, all cheering for your success during this evaluation. This test was designed to reveal your spiritual growth, not to catch you failing. And every part of this examination was under divine supervision. Feel proud of this spiritual evaluation, for it shows how ready you are for advanced spiritual assignments. Each authentic response you gave during this test brought glory to God and proved your spiritual maturity. The universe celebrated every moment you chose love over anger, patience over frustration, and wisdom over reaction. Your performance during this secret test has opened doors to new spiritual opportunities and deeper divine trust. Heaven keeps records of these spiritual victories, and your test results have been filed as evidence of your spiritual advancement. Nothing about your responses was hidden from God's loving eyes, and your genuine character during this examination has earned you spiritual promotions you haven't even discovered yet. Divine timing. God's perfect spiritual calendar determined exactly when this test appeared in your life. When you receive a secret spiritual examination at the precise moment, when you're strong enough to pass it, that's sacred timing working in your spiritual development. These moments show you're connected to God's plan for your growth, living in harmony with divine preparation for greater spiritual assignments. As these testing experiences become clearer in your memory, let them build your confidence in God's perfect timing. Each test confirms that you're being prepared for something bigger and better in your spiritual journey. Pay attention to how these examinations appeared right after periods of prayer, spiritual growth, or personal challenges. They aren't random spiritual pop quizzes. They're part of a loving advancement plan created specifically for your spiritual career. Keep your heart open to understanding the divine timing behind these tests. The more you recognize God's perfect scheduling in your spiritual examinations, the more you'll trust His timing for everything else in your life. These tests come when you're spiritually ready to pass them and receive your spiritual promotions. Just as you receive these divine revelations about secret spiritual testing, your support helps us continue sharing similar guidance with others who don't realize they're being spiritually examined. A small super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or even $50 allows these important revelations to reach those who need to understand the hidden spiritual activities happening in their own lives right now. As you understand the results of your secret spiritual test, believe that this examination reveals incredible spiritual maturity you didn't even know you possess. It, just like a report card shows academic progress, your test performance shows divine authorities how much your spirit has grown. God arranged this evaluation perfectly. Even when the testing felt uncomfortable or confusing at first, focus on celebrating the spiritual strength you displayed, because that authentic character is what qualifies you for advanced spiritual assignments. when you responded with love during challenging moments, showed patience when things went wrong, or maintained integrity. When shortcuts were offered, you were earning spiritual credentials. Qualities you thought were just normal responses are actually evidence of extraordinary spiritual development. Every authentic choice you made during this test brought you closer to spiritual promotions and divine opportunities you haven't imagined. Yet, stay proud of your spiritual performance because your relationship with God has been strengthened through this examination. The spiritual lessons learned through this secret test have prepared you for leadership, blessing, and influence in ways that will surprise and delight you in the coming days. As you move forward from this secret test, make it a habit to say, "I recognize and pass every divine test." Speak these words with complete confidence each morning. This simple practice builds a shield of spiritual awareness around you that makes future divine examinations easier to navigate. When you sense someone might be evaluating you, or when interactions feel like they have deeper meaning, pause for a moment. Use this time to connect with your spiritual wisdom and ask God to show you the divine purpose behind the encounter. Trust that God is preparing you through ongoing spiritual evaluations, and begin each day thanking Him for choosing you for these important examinations. When you fill your thoughts with spiritual awareness and divine purpose, you create space for heavenly insights about every interaction. Stay alert to the spiritual dimensions of your relationships, knowing that divine testing is a sign of God's investment in your growth. Your spiritual discernment is the key that unlocks understanding about the divine activities happening around you every single day. Through your experience with this secret test, you're not just growing personally, but also becoming someone who can help others recognize their own divine examinations. This revelation offers you a chance to show God's wisdom by teaching others about spiritual awareness. Each day gives you new opportunities to share insights about divine testing with those who might be confused about challenging interactions in their lives. As you pray for continued spiritual growth and connect with God's plan, remember to encourage friends who seem to be going through their own testing periods. Your experience can inspire and awaken others who might be missing the spiritual significance of their encounters. Use your story to bring understanding to someone else's confusion about difficult relationships. Embrace each day as a chance to build spiritual awareness in your community, helping others see divine purpose in challenging moments. In this journey of spiritual awakening, we grow stronger together, supporting each other through recognition and celebration of God's ongoing spiritual development program. In closing, as we understand this secret test and what it reveals about your spiritual journey, let's move forward with excitement and spiritual awareness. Be prepared to recognize future divine examinations, face spiritual evaluations with confidence, and celebrate each test as evidence of God's trust in your growth. Trust in the power of prayer and in God's ongoing development of your spiritual character. You are on a path to spiritual promotion, surrounded by divine love and proven through secret testing. Keep saying, "I recognize and pass every divine test," and watch as your spiritual awareness transforms every interaction into an opportunity for growth and blessing. If this message has helped you recognize the secret test in your life, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more divine revelations. Hit the notification bell so you never miss spiritual insights about the hidden activities happening around you. When you share this message, you help others discover their own divine examinations. Each person who learns about secret testing through you becomes part of your spiritual legacy of awareness and awakening. Dear Lord, please give us wisdom to recognize the spiritual tests you place in our path, and the discernment to see your hand working through every encounter. Help us pass every examination with grace and grow through every divine evaluation. Amen. If this revelation about your secret test has opened your spiritual eyes, or helped you understand recent confusing interactions. Consider showing your appreciation with a super thanks of $10, $20, $50, or even $100. Your generous support helps us continue revealing these hidden spiritual truths to others who need divine awakening. Please share in the comments what type of secret test you think you recently experienced. Was it a loyalty test, patience test, integrity test, compassion test, forgiveness test, wisdom test, or abundance test? Your testimony helps others recognize their own divine examinations. Also tell us what spiritual revelations or divine insights you'd like to hear in our next video. Your suggestions guide us in bringing you the hidden spiritual knowledge you need most.